Hi, my name is Anna and this is my entry for the Global Creative Graduate Showcase. I did my BA illustration at Arts University Bournemouth and this was my final major project. It may look like a tangled mess of threads, but I promise you it isn't, because inside each of these books hides the stage sets from Romeo and Juliet. I started off the project with lots of mini models, and in the beginning they were very heavily influenced by Moorish Spanish architecture before I took influence from the actual Verona. This is actually the first model I made, and the reason this project became about Romeo and Juliet, because so many people saw this little balcony and they said that it reminded them of the play, and I thought, oh, that's great. So sadly there's no grand reasoning behind picking this play in particular. I made lots of these tiny models in addition to sketchbook pages, maths, visual research, testing different pop-up techniques to figure out how these would actually function. When I was happy with my experimenting, I would take all my measurements into Illustrator and I'd make these just to make sure that everything looked right, all the measurements were in place, and then I could go over to die cutting. This is the first die cut model that I made of Juliet's balcony, and this became the end result. This is based on the actual Juliet's balcony in Verona that you can visit, and each little book has these wings on the side that you can fold out and you can make the scene even bigger. And these ones actually connect, so if you have all of the books, you can put them all together and you can make these bigger pieces. This is actually the public space scene, and I think that's one of my favourite ones that I've built. This archway and this church building, all the windows overlap with the windows in the back, so either you can have these two on the side, you can just have one of them, you can have both. In addition, there's this little fountain that you can pop up. It becomes 3-4 different worlds in one. I knew that the final scene had to be different, and for that reason it's the only one that contains Romeo and Juliet. But you can see this pull tab in the back of Juliet's hair, and it is the perhaps slightly more morbid addition, and it's the fact that you can pull it and actually move Juliet's knife in and out of her body yourself. This project involved a lot of trial and error, but I'm really happy to have finished it. I think it would be really interesting to take it further, maybe using AR, VR figurines to let yourself get even further immersed into this world and recreate some of the very famous scenes. I think this type of work is so interesting, and combining traditional and contemporary is partially what's led me to pursue an MA in artistic research to look at how we interact with these objects. I'm so happy to have been fortunate enough to do this type of project to land me where I am today.